Have you ever fallen in love with the absolute perfect makeup product only to find it irritates your sensitive skin? Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about gentle skincare, self-care, and today we're talking about makeup suitable for sensitive skin because I too have been in that place where I found the perfect foundation that made my skin itchy and irritated within an hour of applying it. And I definitely have been on this quest to really find the balance between having sensitive skin and finding makeup products that will suit it. And I want to share that in today's video. I'm going to be talking about some products that I found that seem to work well for my sensitive skin and might work for yours as well. So if you're so ready to find out what those products are, give the video a big thumbs up and let's get started. Now, you know what I'm about to say before I start talking about products. Before you go shopping, when you have sensitive skin, before you go shopping for makeup or skincare products, you must first understand your skin's triggers and then honor them and avoid those triggers at all costs. This information is really going to make you a powerful consumer and really arm you with the knowledge you need to give yourself the best success rate when it comes to trying out new products on your sensitive skin. So I'm going to share my triggers with you just so you understand why I chose what I chose for today's video. Drying alcohols. I also do avoid essential oils. Let's quickly talk about fragrance. Artificial fragrance is what I'm referring to, and you may be surprised to know that I do occasionally use makeup products with a little bit of fragrance in them. I always look for it, and I'm always cautious when I test a product with fragrance in it with my sensitive skin, but it can sometimes be nuanced. One area that it's not nuanced for me when it comes to fragrance, though, is fragrant compounds. So I'm talking about fragrance that's listed separately from just the word fragrance or perfume. These are fragrant compounds that must be listed separately because they actually have a very high potential for causing irritation or triggering an allergic reaction on sensitive and vulnerable skin. So they do have to be stated in the ingredients list. These ingredients I have found are some of my biggest triggers in makeup products. This is what makes my skin feel so itchy with foundations that contain these ingredients. I'm going to list them on the screen right now. There's quite a few of them and they're really goofy sounding and I just don't even want to attempt to say them. All right, let's start off with primers. And you know, I've been loyal to the same Smashbox primer for years, but it was recently discontinued. So I actually did replace it with another Smashbox product, the Photo Finish Primerizer Plus. Now, this is quite a moisturizing, dewy, hydrating type of primer. So if you have oily skin, I don't think this is going to be for you. My skin is combination, leaning a little bit more on the dry side, and I'm a big fan of that kind of glossy, very dewy kind of a look with my skin. I am wearing this primer today underneath my foundation, so you can get a kind of an idea of what the finish is like underneath a base makeup product. I absolutely love that because my skin does lean a little bit on the dry side, so a little extra moisture I will always take. But this is actually a really nice primer in the sense that it doesn't feel suffocating on the skin. It's not a heavy silicone primer, and in fact, there's actually no silicones in this primer at all. So it has a really light satiny feel. It does create like a nice like smooth canvas, but it's just not like spackle. It's not super thick and it doesn't really seal your skin off. I do want to mention another primer-esque product. This is actually a multi-purpose product from Laneige. It's the Glowy Makeup Serum. Now, this product, as the name suggests, they are calling it a serum, so you could use it in your skincare steps if you wanted to, but really I use this as makeup prep. This is like a very light primer type of product. It does just give a little bit of that base on top of your skin for your makeup to adhere to, but you know, in terms of like where the Smashbox fits and where this Laneige fits, Smashbox is going to have a lot more grip and a lot more staying power for your makeup like a true traditional primer function is. This is a little bit more skin prep in the sense that it gives you a nice little glowy, hydrated kind of a base to put maybe some concealer or some light makeup on top, but I don't feel like it goes the extra mile in making your makeup last a super long time. So let's move on to concealers. This is the Makeup Forever HD Self-Setting Concealer. And this is something that I use a lot because I absolutely love the color range and I love the texture of this concealer. So Makeup Forever actually seems to have a really great diversity of shades in not only their concealers but also their foundation products as well, which is something I really like because I can struggle to find a match for my skin. Like just like matching the undertones can be really tricky. They have a lot of different undertone shades, you know, ranges to choose from, but they just have a good variety of color as well. And I love the texture of this because it's a creamy, almost like a hydrating type of concealer with, I would call this medium coverage, medium to light coverage. But it definitely is buildable. And this is something that I'll wear to kind of like brighten up my under eye area or a little bit, you know, conceal redness around my nose. But this is also something when I'm not feeling like a full on foundation day, you know, I just want a little concealer to perk up my complexion. I'll actually just put this in some key areas and buff it out, and it works just like a really, really light coverage for my skin, just in areas I need it, but it blends seamlessly into my bare skin, so I don't need full coverage. So it's just like a multitasking kind of concealer for me. I constantly repurchase this. I've used it for many, many years because it just performs so well for me, and it's just one of the best matches for my skin. Now, another concealer I want to talk about is a little bit different. This is from Makeup Revolution. It is their Conceal and Hydrate Concealer. Now, the shade range on this is a lot more limited, and I had a hard time matching my undertones. So the one that I'm actually wearing is color 4. It's a little bit light for me, but this actually functions really nicely underneath like a full foundation. And this formula, this texture is a little bit thicker. It's a little bit thicker. It's got more coverage. That we're going more medium to heavier coverage on this concealer. And this is what I reach for when I want to cover pimples. You know, when I want to cover dark marks, I'll dab this onto a dark area on, you know, if I have like a dark mark, and then just kind of like stipple, you know, dab it in with a foundation brush, and it has really good coverage. All right, let's move on to foundation. And if you're anything like me, this is probably the most challenging area for your sensitive skin. It certainly is for me. You know, in skincare, I'll always say that sunscreen is the hardest product to get just right for your individual skin. Well, in makeup, that's what foundation is for me. It is the hardest product to get just absolutely right. I mean, we're talking about color matches. We're talking about the texture being right, talking about longevity, and also talking about not irritating my sensitive skin. And it just seems like foundation is the makeup product that is the most likely to bug my skin. I have the hardest time. But that being said, I do have a couple of options here for you. And I do want to start off with BB cream because, you know, I love a good K-beauty product. And BB cream was really one of those first products that wanted to marry the idea of makeup and skincare into one product. You know, giving you that coverage and that skin enhancement that makeup offers, but giving you the skin beneficial ingredients that skincare offers in a light, dewy, breathable finish for the skin. And I love a good BB cream, but that definitely does mean that they're going to offer a little bit of lighter coverage for the skin. And my biggest struggle with BB creams is most of them do contain some type of sunscreen coverage to them. And I do find that sometimes is the culprit for irritating my skin. Sometimes like zinc, it really depends on formulation because the product I'm going to talk about does have zinc oxide in it. But sometimes zinc can make my skin feel overly dry or dehydrated. Just an ingredient to kind of like flag for you if you're still trying to figure out your triggers, and if you get a lot of dehydration and dryness from makeup products. It's in a lot of makeup products. Even if they don't offer sunscreen coverage, it is in a lot of makeup products. Just keep your eye on it. But I do want to talk about the Purito Cica Clearing BB Cream. I wear color number 23, that's natural beige. Another drawback to BB creams, just so you know, shade ranges are very limited. Like 3 colors, and they're meant to cover a wide variety of undertones and shades. That's just kind of how BB creams are. They kind of adjust to your skin tone, but that does mean a good majority of skin tones are actually just like left out of BB creams. I will commend Purito. They kind of broke the mold just a little bit. A few Korean brands go beyond like 3 or 4 shades. Purito came out with 6, which I think is a good start. But just know it might be a struggle. Anyways, I wanted to talk about this product because it's one of the few BB creams I do enjoy wearing. I feel like the color is pretty true to my skin tone. I don't feel like this oxidizes and turns orange on me like some BB creams can. I feel like it has pretty nice coverage, good wear, and it's really comfy on my skin. The next product I want to talk about offers a little bit more coverage than a BB cream. This is really kind of medium coverage, and I feel like it's a great evolution of the idea of a BB cream. This is the Urban Decay Hydromaniac Tinted Glow Hydrator, and this is like a foundation meets skincare. That's what this feels like on my skin, because this is not a heavy foundation product, but it's got more longevity, and it fights creasing and caking so much more than the majority of BB cream products that I've tried in the past. So it performs like foundation, but it feels like BB cream. It's still light. It's not really heavy on your skin, and it just feels a little bit dewy. It's got just a little sheen to the finish that looks really natural, and it's just very skin flattering. The shade range here I think is okay. It probably could be better, but it's not like glaringly bad. There do seem to be some choices in here. This is the type of product that will oxidize a little on you. So I found you know, I needed to buy this like one shade a little lighter than I normally would, because it seems to adjust and oxidize on my skin to just the right color. But sometimes you just want full coverage, you know, whether it's a special event or you just like more coverage on your face. I have a pick for you. And you know what? I actually like a full coverage foundation too. I think it just has a really nice finish. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Cover Stick Foundation. Now, as I mentioned, there will be some products in this video that do contain some fragrance in it. And surprisingly, this one does contain fragrance. The reason I say surprisingly is because this kind of stinks. It doesn't smell like flowers, let me put it that way. This just kind of smells like just like raw makeup, I guess. It's the best way for me to describe it. It doesn't smell pleasant. It's not super unpleasant, but if you have a sensitive nose, you will pick up on the fact that this doesn't smell like flowers. So it's actually kind of surprising to me to find fragrance on the ingredients list. And actually, there is one little fragrant compound in here too. And I'm just saying that like, because be careful with sensitive skin. And as I mentioned, those are actually triggers for my skin, but I've been using this since 2019. I've gone through so many sticks of this and it doesn't bug my skin. I like this because it gives me the coverage that I like. It gives a nice full coverage, but again, it's not something that feels real heavy on the skin. And this is not something that goes on cakey. This is a great product for buffing into your skin with a makeup brush, and it gives you a really nice, natural, smooth finish. I am wearing this today, and I love how this looks on my skin. I love how it feels on my skin. Even though it's a stick foundation, it's not as dry as you would expect it to be. It actually does have a little hydration to it. It's got great coverage. It is buildable if that's something that you're looking for. And I don't feel like it settles into fine lines too much. That really comes down to application. You don't want to be too heavy-handed, but a little bit of this goes a really long way. Sometimes powders, while I don't feel like they necessarily irritate my skin, they just sometimes make it feel a little bit drier at the end of the day. You know, sometimes powder can just dry your skin out, but my powder recommendation does not do that. It is the Canmake Secret Beauty Finishing Powder. This is a translucent powder, which is really something that I favor, because, you know, sometimes the powders that have a little color to it can kind of oxidize on my skin and make me look a little bit orange. So I do like translucent powder, but it's always important to find a good quality one that's been milled very finely so you don't get a very powdery kind of a like powdered sugar look to your face. You know what I mean? I think this is a really affordable powder that has a nice fine mill to it. It spreads really beautifully onto the skin. It is completely like translucent and undetectable, but it does set your makeup really nicely, help it last a little bit longer. And you know, it is something that you could put on top of just sunscreen. You know, if you don't wear makeup products or you like to go barefaced some days, but you know, sometimes like your sunscreen makes you look a little bit not like pretty and dewy, but like straight up shiny and oily. Set your sunscreen with some powder. Give it the like 5 to 10 minutes it needs to really like dry down and settle into your skin, but then just do a little bit of translucent powder on top to just take away a little bit of that shininess. Now, I hope you won't be too disappointed to find out that I am going to be skipping over eyeshadows, eyeliners, and mascaras. Aww. You know what? Eye products just don't tend to bug me that much, and I don't really have a lot of issues with them. But if you're curious about like what my favorite eye products are, I do have like a master list of my favorite makeup products, and I'm gonna link that in the info box. If you're just like, Kelly, I gotta know what eyeshadow you wear or what's your favorite eyeliner, it's all gonna be in that list, so you can check that out in the description box. But I'm gonna jump over to lip products because I have had struggles with lip products in the past, and I have to tell you, you know, I am prone to some eczema on my lip area, and I have had an eczema flare up from the Fenty Gloss Balm. Yeah, that really irritated my lips, and you know why? It has a shiz ton of fragrant compounds in it, and that's definitely like sealed the deal for me in avoiding those fragrant compounds in my lip products. Let me tell you a few of my favorite go-to lip products that I use all the time that don't trigger eczema on my lips. The first one is actually the Laneige Glowy Lip Balm. I particularly love the color Berry. They have a couple of other colors that all I think look really beautiful, but I go for Berry the most because it's the perfect blend between like a lip balm that helps moisturize, protect, and condition your lips, and a lip gloss, which gives you that beautiful shine on your lips. It's the perfect marriage between the two. You know, I went on and on and on about fragrant compounds in lip products. This does have artificial fragrance. Fragrance is such a huge topic, and I don't really cover everything in today's video, but again, there's nuance here, and sometimes it takes a little risk with sensitive skin or lips, just trying out what works for you. For whatever reason, this formula works for my lips. I want to mention a little bit of a trick for those of you who maybe do have very sensitive lips or who go through lip eczema triggered by super fragrance lip products. And my little hack here that I learned during my eczema flare-up was lip liner. When you get a lip liner that is like enhances your lip color but isn't too different from your lip color, you can use that to put a little bit of color on your lips, because lip liners, you gotta check every single one, because that's just the burden we have to bear with sensitive skin. You still have to look at all the ingredients, but just generally speaking, most lip liners don't have fragrance in them at all. So this is how I got a little bit of color on my lips when I was going through my eczema flare-up. I would just line my lips with a little bit of this, kind of blend it just a touch with my fingertips, and then top it off with like Laneige Glowy Lip Balm. Or if you want to go super duper gentle, just put some Vaseline or some Aquaphor on top. You know, those are so lip conditioning, incredibly protective, great for eczema prone skin, but they do have that little bit of glossy shine to them that looks really nice on the lips. I have to tell you about my all-time favorite lipstick in the whole entire world. The one I wear in 90% of my YouTube videos. This is the Moonshot Stick Extreme Pro, and the color is Sen. I am obsessed with this. If you've been following my videos, you know that like I always talk about this. I absolutely love this so much. There's a couple of reasons why. The color Sen I absolutely love. It's kind of that, you know, my lips but better kind of a color. It definitely is an enhancement, but it has like a natural kind of a look that goes with any kind of vibe I'm feeling that day, because that's really how I do my makeup. It really is like the vibe I'm feeling and the outfit I'm wearing. I love makeup as like that tool for just like self-exploration and identity. But regardless, you know, sometimes we just need that good neutral lipstick that goes with like really any eyeshadow you want to wear. This really seems to be it for me. This Zen color is wonderful. But another reason why I like this so much is the formula. Because as much as I talk about fragrance possibly irritating or triggering eczema on my lips are also just kind of dry, and any type of matte finish makes it a lot worse. You'll see me wear gloss a lot because of that, but this is one of the few matte lipsticks that I can wear without gloss on top of it. This just feels so comfy on my lips because it's not a super matte finish, it's like a velvet finish. I will mention some artificial fragrance here. You probably expected it in a lipstick, but you know, surprisingly not something that bugs my lips. Great formula, suitable for dry lips, but you want to get that matte look, but plays well with some gloss on top too. What about misting? You know, I love skincare. I do enjoy makeup, and I feel like misting brings in skincare and makeup into the same world. This is the Peach and Lily Glass Skin Veil Mist. I've been using this for over a year now, and I really, really like this. And I'm not even actually a big fan of mists in skincare. I actually am not. I think they're fun, and I do use them occasionally, but I'm not like a big believer in mists for skincare. But I will tell you, I love a good mist on top of my makeup when I'm done with it, just to kind of help set everything down. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you get a little heavy-handed, things might look a little bit cakey, and that really comes down to your application method. But sometimes cakiness does occur, and I just feel like a mist really forgives all sins. But why I like it is because it has skincare like ingredients in it. It's like skin beneficial ingredients. I don't put too much stock into that just because it would have to work through a lot of layers on my skin to really benefit it. But the reason I like it is it's not being detrimental to my skin. There's no fragrances in here. There's no essential oils in here. There's some nice skin beneficial ingredients. But why I like this is the finish. Because this, you know, the theme here gives me that little dewy finish to my skin. Not only does it help set my makeup, maybe cut down on some cakiness or powderiness or a dry look to my makeup, it gives a little bit of that hydrated look to the skin too. So now it's your turn to tell me your makeup picks, sensitive skin or not. Let me know in the comment box all your favorite makeup products. If you love this video, it was beneficial to you, maybe you have sensitive skin, but you have not hit subscribe to my channel, please do consider hitting subscribe. I really love to talk about gentle skincare products, sometimes self-care. So please do consider hitting subscribe and turn on notifications so you're never out of the loop when I post a new video. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe, and I cannot wait to talk to you in the next video. I'll see you soon. Bye.